Hi and welcome to this video. This video is my weekly forecast on the forex markets. My name is Dave Tromp and I make a video every weekend looking ahead at what the forex and the currency markets will do. And I usually also look at gold, silver, and sometimes I look at cryptocurrencies. So let's have a look at the dollar index. That's the market I always look at first. And I usually look at markets on the weekly time frame and on the daily time frame to get an overview of what the markets will be like the coming week. So this is the dollar index, and we've seen that the dollar has been trending up and then crashed down, and it crashed below this trend line, and we are still holding slightly above this support line or this support area, but when looking on the daily, I saw that we have broken far below this support line, and then I said, okay, now this is definitely going into a bear market. And then a few days later the dollar went up again, faking me out, as well as many other traders probably. So I tweeted out that I was looking for more downside on the dollar. So I said, okay, we have a green light for downside and we're not gonna go back up to this trend line, above this trend line. But looking at it today, I'm not too sure about this, because looking at this daily candle here, this formation, it has this very long wick to the downside and a bullish body. So this could indicate a reversal at least towards this trend line, and depending on how strong it is, we might break it and come back into the into this area above the trend line. So this is something to keep in mind. It looks like dollar is reversing, at least on the short time, and becoming more bullish, and that will mean that many of the trades that I had that were short the dollar should be reversed. So let's have a look at the trades that I had on and how they played out. So one of the trades I had on is a long trade here at the dollar. Well, looking at the dollar on the weekly, we can see that this is clearly trending downward. So you could say, okay, I'm trading against trend, and that's always more difficult than trading with the trend. But looking on the shorter term, we had this on the daily here, we had this uptrend, and then we broke higher and then we retraced. So I got in on the retrace somewhat on the 4 hour, and I placed my stop below here to see if I could get in on this trend that was going up on the daily. But then again, looking at the weekly, it's very clear now to me that this was a fake out, because if we zoom in a little bit, we can see that we had this strong uptrend on the weekly, and then we had this indecision candle and then an inside bar from this indecision candle, and now we broke higher and closed back lower, and this is a typical fake out pattern where the big banks are faking out other traders, or at least it's not really that they're faking out people, but they're looking for liquidity. So we can see that here I indicated these this zone here, that's a supply zone. So many orders were waiting here to go short, and if the big banks have an idea of going short, they are looking for liquidity to execute their orders. So they're going higher to see if they can get some orders, and then when they find them, then these orders are executed, and this actually reverses the price. That's what happened with the order flow probably last week, and I believe now that the euro against the dollar will see more downside, at least to this area here, and maybe even all the way down to here. So when the market opens in a few hours, I will probably close out this trade on the euro dollar for a little bit less than a half hour loss, and then see if I can find a good entry to reverse my position and take it to the downside. So let's see here on the Great British Pound US dollar, we see the same kind of pattern. I hope it's a little bit clear. I have some markings here. Let's see if I can make this a little bit. Let's remove the background for now. Here, this is a same kind of pattern. So we had here this candle and then an inside bar for past the last week, the week before this week, and now the last week we had this fake out pattern. So we broke higher and then closed within the range, and it's forming a pin bar on the weekly. So also on the Great British Pound US dollar, I think we are going to see a reversal to the downside, and this also means that I will have to close this trade out for a small loss. Maybe I can get out at break even if market trades up a little bit, but in any case I will at least move up my stop below these lows here, or maybe just get out at the market when the market opens, and then see if I can get a trade on to the downside. Let's look at the US dollar CAD. So I have a short on here. Let me see, is that still on? Let me check my log. The US dollar, yep, it's still open. Okay, so I'm still in this trade. To me this still looks okay, at least on the daily. Let's look at the weekly, what it looks like. Okay, so we are below this trend line. We've broken below it and we're holding below this swing low. So I think this one is okay. I think we will see some more downside for the dollar against the US dollar CAD, and then when the price reaches this horizontal level, then we might see a break or a bounce higher again, and then to resume the upward trend. So let's see. Yeah, the longer term trend is definitely up, and we are in this some sort of sideways consolidation. So we might even trade all the way back to this low point here to complete the consolidation before we bounce up. But I think this trade is still good to trade all the way to this level. So on the daily that looks like this. So also on Friday a nice pin bar formed rejecting the higher levels here, so that gives me enough confidence to keep this trade open and see how it goes. Looking at US dollar Japanese yen, let me see, still in this longer term downtrend. Let's zoom in. There we go. And yes, in this very long term trend we can see this this bottom here, and then making constantly lower highs, and here we have kind of bottom, intermediate bottom as well, that broke here in end of beginning of March. So what I have on here, let's switch to, no, I don't have any trades on here, so I also don't have any ideas for this. There's no clear setup for me, at least not on the daily. So I was in this trade, and now this could be a potential short, but that's not too convincing. We do have some rejection of this area here. That's where I got out when price retraced, and then after I got out, of course, price went down again, and then we went back to this level again, and it was rejected. So clearly this is an area where there are sell orders and there's some selling pressure coming from this level. It coincides with the levels that we can see here, more or less. So if I would take any trade, it would be to the downside, something like here, maybe with the stop above these areas here, and then see if we can trade it all the way down here. But I haven't looked into this too much yet, so keep an eye on my Twitter account. If I see any trade here, then I will post it on Twitter, and you can see if it's something that interests you as well. The USD Swiss franc, let's see, I have a short open on it. That's right here. So let me switch to the daily. Oh no, let's first go to the weekly, see the longer term trend. So this is a very much sideways market, and then lately the dollar has been trading lower against the Swiss franc, but also here we can see this kind of fake out pattern. So we had this downtrend, and then we had the indecision 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago we had an inside bar on this indecision candle. Let me zoom in a bit. And then we had the last week, so the past week, we had a break lower and then a close inside this candle here, and also a bullish candle. So it looks to me that we have a possible turnaround here as well. And let me see, is this already open, this trade on my account? Just checking very quickly for you. No, I don't have it. I'm not in the trade yet, but I had a possible short. Let me see. And yeah, so I still have it open, a trade here, and it's not triggered in yet. So let's switch to the 4-hour time frame. That's the time frame I usually use to get in. So I'm looking here for a bit of a retrace to this level here to take it short. But looking at the weekly chart and the daily chart, I might remove this order, as the past week has been a fake out and it looks like we are about to reverse. Of course we might see still some downside before we go higher, and also we have these this area here, which is a support zone, or a supply zone, actually support and supply zone. But I'm gonna reconsider this short trade. So looking at New Zealand dollar, let's zoom out. So this is going up and down on the longer term. Zooming in a bit, we have a downtrend, so we're making a low here, and we've made a lower low, and we have lower highs here. So this actually looks good to me to trade short. Looking at the weekly, and then switch to the daily. Still looking good. Let me see. It looks like I had this short on and got stopped out. Do I have another trade on? Let me check my logs. No, I don't have a trade on yet, but I might get a trade on getting in at the level of this blue line here, which is has been a resistance area, and here we've broken and then closed lower. So I think it's still pretty good area to get in, and then maybe have a stop above these highs here, or maybe this high if you want to take a closer stop, and then trade it at least to these lows here, or maybe all the way to the low here. That would be a very interesting trade to take a look at. Let's see if it's the same on the Aussie dollar, US dollar. No, it's a different story. Let's first go to the weekly. Okay, in the weekly it's clearly in a downtrend, and we had this very kind of acceleration on this downtrend, and then a bounce, very strong bounce higher. And I am in a long trade. Am I still in it? Yes, it's still open. So let's look at the daily. How did I see this trade? So we have this strong uptrend, and we had a swing higher, and I decided to get in on, let me zoom in a little bit better for you, and I decided to get in as we broke higher, and then also when we retraced, I decided to put an add-on trade, and then move the stop to below this low here, and also put the stop of this entry right there. So let's see if that will play out, because we do have this very strong trend to the upside, and I want to see if I can at least get up to this level here, but maybe you can get up all the way back to this level. And I don't see too many signals. Or okay, here we have the same kind of thing with the fake breakout of this inside pattern. So actually I might consider reversing my position here. So let's see if I can get out maybe at break even, and then reverse my position to the downside. That looking at the longer time frame, so the weekly, it suggests that well, we have been also seen here smaller candles, smaller green candles, meaning that the uptrend is slowing down, and also we had this fake out pattern here that suggests that we are about to reverse. Okay, so let's look at gold on the weekly. Well, on the weekly it still looks extremely bullish. So we've made these higher lows, higher highs, as I indicated before, and we keep going higher. So we made an all-time high here, and now we've still above this trend line, but it's a very steep trend line. So I'm personally very bullish on gold, but I think we need more of more downside, maybe to this level right here. So that's the 1800 level before we can push strongly higher. Let's see what I have on the short term. So on the short term, I had this when we saw this candle, this strong bearish candle, I thought to buy on the dip again, which I did, and then I got stopped out on last Friday's candle by just a few points or a few dollars, and then price reversed again. So I'm looking to get back in at this level. So that's around $1,934, and then place my stop below this long wick, and then see if we can go higher. So here we also have this is also a faking pattern. So we have this strong down candle, and then we have this inside candle that formed within this candle, and then the next candle we had this pin bar that just fakes out all the stops below here, including mine, and now it looks as if it's gonna go higher again. So I'm gonna target at least this level right here. So this support or resistance area here, and it also coincides with the Fibonacci level that I measure from this pin bar. So that's a first good level to get out, and if all goes well, I might even let the trade run all the way back up here for a almost 5.8 to 1 reward to risk. But the first target will be around 2 reward to 1 risk at this level right here. So that's the 1982 level, more or less. Let's quickly look at silver. What's going on silver? Switch to weekly. So silver still in the same pattern, meaning it broke out of this consolidation very strongly, and now 2 weeks ago we had this down move, this correction, and now we have some indecision the past week. So the market's not very clear where it's gonna go. Usually after a strong uptrend and we have this kind of indecision, we will see some retracement that I indicate here with these markings. So I think we will see some lower prices, maybe moving to the between the $21 and $23 before we see eventually higher prices. That's the most likely scenario that I'm looking at for silver. Okay, so this is my lookout or my forecast for the coming week. I hope you liked it. If you like these kind of videos, please subscribe. Then you will get a video every week or every weekend where I look ahead at the forex currency markets and the gold and silver markets. And sometimes I look at the cryptocurrency markets as well. So if you like these kind of videos, please subscribe. Also give the thumbs up. If you like this video, then I know you like it and I can continue making these kind of videos. Okay, see you in the next video, guys.